Hi everyone, Newbie Prepper here. This is the second video of my series of beginning my prepping. Anyway, disclaimers first. Number one, I am not a professional. I am an amateur. Professional amateur, I guess. And number two, I am shooting this off of my phone. So I don't have a super duper camera. Yet I probably won't have one at all because I don't see it as a necessity. But I might, who knows. Anyway, those are my disclaimers. So let's get down to the nitty gritties, the meat and potatoes. So anyway, my first video dealt with my first piece of equipment, which is right here, my AR-15, which is a Bushmaster. My second video will deal with why I chose an AR-15 over other rifles. Now, there are other rifles out there, such as a 12 gauge shotgun, pump shotgun, 12 gauge semi-auto shotgun, 8 gauge, 16 gauge, 22 LR rifle, 308, 30-30, AK-47. Here's a couple of things. Number one, I chose the AR-15 because of its customizability. Now, that's not saying that other rifles are not customizable. Yes, they are. But as far as a 22 goes, the reason why I did not choose a 22 long range or LR rifle, as they call them, is because I don't think a 22 LR has the stopping power that I may need if I'm out in the wilderness and I come across a bear or a deer or something. This may not have the stopping power to stop a bear, but I believe this one is a little bit more powerful than a 22 LR. That being said, 22 LR is probably got less recoil to it. I'm assuming the shells are a lot smaller. So I figure, yeah, 22 LR would be probably a good rifle for hunting, small game and stuff, and for basic self-defense. The reason why I did not go with a 30-30 or a 308 or something of that size is because those tend to look like they are bigger and heavier than an AR. And if I'm going to be traveling through the wilderness, forest, swamps, grassland, whatever, I'd like to have something that's a little bit more lightweight. On top of it, I've seen the bullets for a 30-30. They look bigger, so I'm assuming they're bigger. So I figure I can carry more ammo for the same weight on an AR-15 than a 30-30 or a 30-06. And also, I've never been, 30-30 and 30-06 basic hunting rifles, I've never really felt comfortable with having a bolt rifle, even though I do like them a little bit better, I guess, because they are more traditional in the sense of being rifles where they are bolt rifles instead of being semi-auto rifles. I'd rather have the firepower of a semi-auto where I can put more rounds down range just by simply squeezing the trigger and keep pulling. Like I tell my daughter, if there's something happening and you need to shoot, keep squeezing the trigger till the gun goes click click. You keep going bang bang till the gun goes click click. You've got 30 rounds in there. So, with that being said, next up is the 12 gauge shotgun. While 12 gauges are pretty nice and up close, I guess nothing would match them except for a grenade launcher. 12 gauges are pretty powerful up close. And you can get slugs for making them go further out. The drawback to me on that was that the ammo capacity, first of all, you can't really, I don't know, I haven't seen any that can hold up to 30 rounds or more. Usually it's usually the pump shotguns hold 6 or 7 rounds in the underbarrel tube, which I guess that's enough, but still, I'd like to have more rounds, whereas I'm not reloading. And as far as the AR, the reloading is much quicker. I pop the old clip out, slap a new clip in, boom, I'm ready to go all over again. Whereas with a pump shotgun, you got to load each round manually. On top of it, the rounds are pretty big, much bigger than the AR, so I'm assuming they weigh a lot more, which is going to limit my carrying capacity on them. And the last one of all is the AK-47. Yes, I respect the AK-47. It is one of the most reliable rifles ever built. It was, half the world uses it for whatever. It is a very reliable rifle. If I had to go up against harsh conditions, if I had my choice, AK or AR, I would definitely take the AK if I was going through very harsh conditions. As far as I know from past experience, you can drop an AK in the mud, pick it right back up, keep firing. They're engineered to be loose so that way they can be more reliable and less prone to jamming. But there's also the ammo issue on those. AK-47 ammunition is much bigger than the AR-15 ammunition. The rounds are bigger. Therefore, my carrying capacity for them is lowered, whereas each round on an AK is almost double the size of an AR round, or at least it looks that way. So, yeah, I want to carry as much ammo as I possibly can. Not saying that I'm going to carry 5,000 or a million rounds with me, but in my first video, I stated I would be comfortable with carrying up to 12 magazines of ammunition. 4 of my regular magazines, and then 2 120 round boxes of ammunition. With that being said, I'm thinking the AK ammo would be a little bit heavier in that respect. So that was my final reasoning for choosing an AR platform, is because the rounds are lighter, the rounds are smaller, they still have a good amount of stopping power, they have a good amount of range, and they have a good amount of accuracy. Another issue with heavier rounds is at longer ranges, they do tend to do a little bit more drop, so you would have to have a lot more familiarity with the gun, a lot more practice with it in order to be accurate at longer ranges. With the AR, I'm assuming not as much, simply because the rounds are lighter, so they tend to not drop as much during flight and travel. So that is my basics for why I chose an AR over any of the other rifles. Anyway, that is it for this episode as to why I chose the rifle that I did. Stay tuned for my next episode. Thanks.